up here at the graveside of my mum and dad, I'm always struck by the words that we put on their gravestone. Try to sum up something of their life. It says this, 2 Timothy chapter 4, verses 7 and 8. I fought the good fight, I finished the race, I've kept the faith, and now there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall award to me on that day. It tries to condense something of their life. All of us live in the dash. For mum and dad, it was 1932 to 1987, 1939 to 1999. Both of them, their lives were short, but they made the most of the moment in the dash. In all of our brokenness, let's make sure that our life has some meaning inside the dash, from our birth certificate to our death certificate. There is a headstone near my mum and dad's where it basically has the dates and a name and nothing. I often wonder what life was for them. What was their life song? How could you sum up their life? For you and I, in the midst of all of the questions, the why questions, the what next, we need to make sure that we make the most of our lives living in the dash. There's an old story about a man named Job, one of the oldest stories ever told. Job was a man who was popular, a man of wisdom, a man of wealth, a man who had family and a home. He had everything going for him until one day he lost it all. He lost his property, his sheep, his goats, his servants were killed, fire came down, he even lost his family. Job found himself in a place where even his own skin was covered in boils. He scratched it with pottery, and his so-called friends came along to give him some advice and to ask the bigger questions of why. What is going on, Job? Maybe it's because of your sin, maybe it's because of your hypocrisy. And along with his friends, they asked question after question of God, until one moment in a whirlwind, God speaks to Job. In the midst of the accusations and perceptions and arguments and questions, God comes and speaks to Job, and this is what he says. Who is this that questions my wisdom with such ignorant words? Brace yourself like a man, because I have some questions for you, and you must answer them. Where were you when I laid the foundation of the earth? Tell me if you know so much. Who dimensioned its dimensions and stretched forth the surveying line? Who supports its foundations? Who laid the cornerstone? And the morning stars sang and the angels shouted for joy? Who kept the sea inside its boundaries as it burst from the womb, as I clothed it with clouds and wrapped it with thick darkness? For I locked it behind the gates and limited its shores. It was I who said, this far and no more you may come. Here your proud waves must stop. Have you ever commanded, Job, the morning to appear, or caused the dawn to rise in the east? Have you ever made daylight spread across the ends of the earth, or bring to an end its wickedness? As the light approaches and the earth takes shape like clay pressed beneath a seal, it is robed in brilliant colors. The light disturbs the wickedness and stops the arms of those raised in violence. Have you, Job, ever explored the springs from which the sea comes? Have you explored its depths? Do you know where the gates of death are located? Where does the light come? Where does the darkness go? He goes on and he asks question after question of Job. Do you know where the east wind has its home? Do you know who the father of the rain is? Can you direct the movement of the stars? He continues to ask the questions of Job. Can you shout to the clouds and make it rain? Were you there at the beginning, Job? Tell me, tell me. And as the story unfolds, question after question, then we come to this conclusion. The Lord said to Job, do you still want to argue with the Almighty? Are you God's critic? Do you have the answers? Then Job replied to the Lord, I am nothing. How could I ever find the answers? I will cover my mouth with my hand. I have said too much already. I have nothing more to say. For each of us, we live in the dash. And sometimes the best thing for us to do is, rather than to shout why and to seek our answers, is to fall silent under the majesty of God and understand that He has more to say into our story. And all of these little broken pieces that are sitting before us, all the fragments of hurt and pain, God will use them for His glory. Today is a day not to shout, not to question, but to fall silent under the glory of the Almighty.